Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I don't have anything to do except to introduce Becky Mitchell, but I'm going to tell you a little joke that came from my dad, which is he told me a long time ago that I didn't have a great personality and I was going to have trouble making friends. So he said, always bring them food. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming this morning. And Brown & Caldwell is the project integrator for the SWASI update that's going on. And our team includes HDR, Linker, CDR Associates, and CU Denver. And Becky's going to talk more about this, but we're really excited about having that role and working with CDM and CH2M and their, or CH2 I think it is now, and their subcontractors as well. So Becky's going to update you on where we are and where we think we're going, and then we'll be able to take some questions after that. Thank you.
So they must have known I was coming because they taped the microphone down. So usually I would be walking around and pacing while I'm up here, but instead they taped the microphone. I might have to just yell if I feel the need to walk away from the podium. Kelly, are you putting up my presentation? Thank you. So I'm Becky Mitchell. I'm the section chief for water supply planning for the Colorado Water Conservation Board, for those of you who don't know me. And we just came off a big endeavor of really finishing the water plan, and it didn't stop there. We're really working on the implementation part of that now. But in the meantime, a good thing like a water plan doesn't come out without really sound technical data. And so we're back in the groove. I'm not fully recovered from the water plan, and now I have to start thinking about SWASI again, and how do we start this cycle all over and get all the technical data that we need to do it all over again. So are we almost there, Kelly? Oh, we're there? Oh, I didn't see on the side, sorry. I'm just looking up here. I'm so one-track minded. So the title of the presentation is really interesting, Building the Foundation for the Future of Water Policy Decisions. So water policy isn't just the water plan. It's, again, that sound technical data, what we're looking at, what we need is this in the state, and how we do that. So today I'm going to talk just briefly on the update and status of the statewide water supply initiative, and then kind of talk about our vision. I've touched on that just a little bit. I'm only going to talk for a few minutes. I'll be here if anybody has any specific questions, but we'll have some questions at the end too. So Mary kind of alluded to this. It's a big team, and that's a management issue. But it's a good management issue. So you bring in the experts and everything. So we're not looking at this as, okay, we have one contracting team and we're going to make them fit and pull the expertise in that one consultant team. What we did was we looked and said, okay, here are the different parts of SWASI. Who are the best people to do that? And so we really feel like we got a solid team. And so we really just got everybody in the state to come work on SWASI. Enough to fill a slide. That was the goal, fill a slide with consultants. So the schedule, it's not really meant for you to see all the details. I know it's kind of small up there, but we've really already started and got contracts underway. We're really kicking this off. The recovery time from the water plan was intense, and so now we're gearing back up for our next intense endeavor, and it's going to be a little bit shorter, so about a year, maybe a little bit longer than a year, and finish in 2017. So we're really working in the beginning stages now, pulling everybody together, scopes of work, what do we need to get done, what are our goals, and making sure we're communicating that clearly. But we should be done. I hate saying this publicly, but we'll be done sometime in 2017, hopefully near the end. So anybody that knows me knows I don't miss deadlines. And so once I said it now publicly, that means we'll achieve it. So Prior versions of SWASI really looked at demand and the gaps and planning for the future needs. The water plan came out, and we've really started looking at, okay, how are we doing things? So there's no direct route. It's pretty circuitous at this point. So I can't tell you where the beginning of the process is. I can only tell you that it continues on. So everything that's up there, SWASI, the basin implementation plans, the water plan, they all rely on each other, which really makes it very apparent that it relies on the people of the state, because those basin implementation plans don't come from my office or from the consultants. They come from the people in the basins that say, hey, we need to figure out what we're doing in our own basins. And then we're taking the work from those and put it. Oh, nice. That's more comfortable for me than talking. I'd rather be up here dancing. Just kidding. So the work from those basin implementation plans go into SWASI, and they're all status reports on how we're doing. And then we take SWASI and we look at a more policy document like the Colorado Water Plan. And then we take that and go back into the basin implementation plans and then pull that into SWASI, and they go back and forth. So those arrows go both ways for a reason, because they all feed into each other. So we basically, not basically, I fully feel that with the development of Colorado's water plan, this whole cycle has been enhanced. So how we're doing things, I think, as we move towards the future, is going to create better products. So like I said, we previously really focused on the demand and gaps there. We're expanding that. We're enhancing how we're looking at our future planning and how that goes into SWASI. But the next version is going to include the planning scenarios, how we look at climate change and the effects that climate change has. I feel bad because my back is this way. I'll try to switch it up. And then not only are we looking at M&I gaps, but environmental and recreational gaps, agricultural gaps, and other types of shortage. So it's not just going to be an M&I SWASI. It's really going to be everything that we've learned in the basin implementation plans, everything that we've learned in Colorado's water plan. How do we pull that into a technical document? Then how do we achieve this goal? I'm not going to read all those little words up in those arrows, but basically how we determine those gaps, you have to have some methodology to come up with the calculations. And so basically that blue arrow down the middle says we're going to work with people, the technical advisory groups, and people that are experts in those areas, and go back and forth and work with the SWASI team and come up with the methodology on how we deal with those, how we calculate the gaps. And then how do we incorporate them into the basin implementation plans and the water plan? I'm gonna ask for questions, but I cannot say anything about communication without calling Mara MacKillop up. She's the Public Education and Outreach Coordinator for CWCB, and so I'm going to have her say a little bit about how we're going to be communicating with folks throughout this, and a little bit about what she's doing. I'm not the best communicator, but she's a really good communicator, so she can come up and talk about this.
Hi, I'm Mara MacKillop, and I am the Public Engagement Specialist at the Colorado Water Conservation Board in the Water Supply Planning section. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I do, but the umbrella is that I take orders from Becky. And I think the real reason she asked me up here today is that if anything goes wrong in the SWASI process, or you're angry or upset, you now have a face and a name to call, and it won't be Becky. So I'll be one of the main points of contact for communications and outreach on the CWCB side through this process. And SWASI is a large undertaking that involves many stakeholders statewide and technical pieces, and we want to make sure through this process that we're communicating all that with all you and all the interests across the state, and making sure that that information gets to people. And to do that, to get this information out to local communities, we're going to be working really closely with the basin roundtables, as we have through the process of creating the water plan and the basin implementation plans. So please engage with your roundtable. We'll be making frequent updates at their meetings and also letting them know of project milestones. Another avenue that you can learn about what's happening with Swazi is through the new CWCB newsletter, the CWCB Confluence. The first issue went out in early August, and it will go out a couple weeks after each of our CWCB board meetings. And the purpose of the newsletter is it highlights the good work of not only our board and our staff, but of the Interbasin Compact Committee, the Basin Roundtables. It'll have information on local happenings in your basin. It has stuff on Colorado Water Plan implementation, and as we move forward, we'll have sections on Swazi as well. So you can sign up for that on our CWCB webpage, our Colorado Water Plan webpage, or if you want to just email me, I can sign you up as well. And the third way that we'll get information out is we have a great network of partners statewide through the Swazi team, but also the relationships that we've built over the years. And so we'll be using their networks to get information out. And so through these avenues, if you're not getting the information that you need, again, you can give me the angry, upset call, and I will take it and make sure that you're getting all the information that you need and give the presentations out. So we want to make sure that through this process you're feeling engaged and informed, and so we'll be working hard as we move forward to make sure that that happens. And I look forward to connecting with all of you as I have just taken on, I've been at the CWCB for a couple of years, but I've just taken on this role this summer, so I'm in a learning phase and happy to connect with all of you as we move forward. Thank you.
I think she was a good choice. So. That is all that I have, but I am not afraid of questions. Mark Waggy, you're not allowed to ask any questions. I'm just kidding. I know you were. Does anybody have any questions? We're just getting started, so I'm sure we'll be doing this kind of update. Doug, make sure we're on the January. We'll do an update in at the January conference too, or something. Does anyone have any questions? And I think we're hitting time.
Are you going to work till 3, 4, and 5 in the morning like you did on the water plant?
If that's what it takes, Senator Sonnenberg, I will do that, and so will Mara.
Will the legislature be appropriating more money for staff overtime?
Thank you. Thank you, Doug Kemper. Yeah, we'd love more money, and if you could help with that, Senator Sonnenberg, that's where your assistance. We don't want you to stay with us till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but we would like more money. Any other questions?